Hello, everyone, and welcome to Small Talk, episode 20. We are in, well, we were already in double digits, but we're into the 20s now. I'm 130, your co-host. My name is Ryan Cam. Thank you all so much for tuning in. This is actually going to be the very last Small Talk episode of 2023. So from the bottom of all of our hearts, I think I speak for all of the co-hosts here when we say thank you all so much for tuning in this year. And 2024 is going to be an even bigger year for this show. But I have to introduce my co-host first up from 3D Movie Cinema. It is Jacob Collins. Jacob, how you doing? You're gonna need to speak up.
I know. I was just gonna say thank you for having me tonight. I know it's not easy being cheesy, but I try to deliver all I
I
can.
see what you did there.
And speaking of, and the last of our co-hosts is Matt Wyatt. Matt, how you doing?
Yeah, I'm glad to be back on talking about these 3 new episodes that we're going to be covering. And I already know what he's going to fucking say about the Hereafter, Jacob.
I'm guessing you didn't. You loved it. I was telling Ryan. I guarantee you, Matt loved this episode. I guarantee you, Matt.
Not my favorite. It's not my favorite. It's my second favorite. But the Whisper, that was the best one.
What? Me and Ryan have a totally different backwards. Me and Ryan were like, delete's the best.
Oh, you liked the delete episode the best.
That was action packed and everything. I was like, everybody's just trying to kill Chloe.
Well, no, but that was cool. No, but that was cool. I mean, that was a pretty good episode too, I will say.
Yeah.
Hereafter, Ryan was like, texted me last night and says, I don't know what to think of Hereafter. It just feels weird. Like, what is this episode?
That was like a Final Destination episode.
It's just like everything touches. I'm like, but yeah, we'll get to that. But I'm just saying, like, that just to me, these 3 episodes are those odd. These are the 3 oddest episodes ever, because you have one that feels more like a slapstick comedy with Whisper, and then you have one that's like freaking Mortal Kombat with Delete, and then you got one that feels like some kind of sad ass Clint Eastwood early 2000s movie with Hereafter. I'm like, what? Who thought of putting these in order? Like, we're gonna make all 3 of these episodes because these are completely different. Like, episodes completely.
Well, I mean, a come down for this show was inevitable after both Shattered and Asylum, but I mean, like, bundle these 3 together, you're just like, well, they can't all be shattered, I guess. But before we dive into Whisper, I just want to, like I said, thank you all so much again for tuning in 2023. 2024 is going to be an even bigger year for this show. Like I mentioned, we're recording this on the 21st, so this show will be dropping the day after Christmas, and I think I speak for everybody here when we say that I hope you all had a Merry Christmas, and I hope that you all have a Happy New Year. But let us dive in to some Smallville, shall we? Let us talk about Season 3, Episode 10, called Whisper.
But things are becoming much clearer now. A deception brought to light. I expect a full report on Clark Kent after this day.
And that's something
You may never trust again. Boy, how long have you and Lionel been looking into my life? All new Smallville on the WB Wednesday night.
While looking for a birthday gift for Martha at a local jewelry store, Clark intervenes when 2 thieves try to rob the place using the powerful scream of Nathan Dean. Oh, wait, I'm sorry, Black Canary? No, wait, that's the wrong show. A meteor rock mutant with the ability to project ear-splitting screams. Are we sure this isn't Black Canary? The combination of the scream with a kryptonite jewel deflecting Clark's heat vision back into his face makes Clark blind. Without this sense, his hearing uncontrollably increases. One of the criminals, Masterson, is arrested. Nathan kidnaps Pete to force his mother, Abigail Ross, to release Masterson. Meanwhile, the blind Clark listens to a phone conversation between Chloe and Lionel about Lex and himself, and after Clark informs Lex about his father's intentions for them, Chloe is mistakenly taken as Lex's informer, and she gets fired from her intern job at the Daily Planet by Lionel. So yeah, Clark goes blind in this episode, and we get the classic Clark Kent look with the glasses and all. So there's a little bit going on here. This episode, I feel like, got a bit of a raw deal because it came literally after Asylum, so you're already at a disadvantage there. I feel like there's some good things here, especially one scene in particular, but I don't know. There was some parts of it that I just was like I was kind of like not really there for. But Jacob, what about it?
You see, I think what this episode is, I do like the opening sequence and everything. I'm sorry, I thought we were trying to whisper. It's called whisper.
We get it. We get it. You're whispering.
No, I thought parts of this episode I really thought were really good, but some parts I laughed at because I'm like, what? Like, there are several scenes in this episode where I'm like, there's no freaking way that would happen. A blind guy who is blind gets into the back of a tow truck in the middle of town
without anyone noticing. Right out in the open. My God Almighty.
I'm like,
what the hell? Yeah, I will agree with that part. Like, what the hell? He just sneaks on that truck like he's fucking Marty McFly from Back to the Future.
He's blind.
Clark's all coy about it too. He's like, "Oh, there's the tow truck."
Like I've done this yesterday. It was easy. Like he did this before. It's like you're blind.
At least with like Daredevil, he at least like waits for the coast is clear before he ducks into an alley and then like uses his abilities. Clark is just like, "Oh, there's my Uber." Then like someone in that town must have like had a flask and done the Perry White and just gone.
Well, he's gonna have to find where he's located because it's the same tow truck that took Pete Ross.
Yeah,
a blind guy. It's a blind guy. A blind guy. Just like no one says, "Hey, that blind guy's in that back of the tow truck. Someone go help him." Instead, they just like everybody's just walking by, going like this, like just walking by, like
acting like it's all normal.
There's a blind guy jumping in the back of a tow truck. Even the guy's kind of confused, like, "How the hell does this blind guy get in the back of my truck?" Like, it's cute. I was siding with the villain. I'm like, how did yes, that makes no sense. Thank you. I actually sided with the villain for 1 minute. I was like, right, it makes no sense how a blind guy can come rescue you. He's not Daredevil. Like, he's a blind guy. And just like, it reminded me, you remember if y'all watch The Boys?
Yeah, of course.
There's
no, never seen it.
Well, there's this.
Yeah, I know the scene you're talking
about. The blind
about.
joke where he's like, there's a blind guy who's a superhero and he smashes. And
Homelander just smacked his eardrum and
like,
fucked up his hearing.
He said, "You're just now another useless fucking."
Now you just use a fucking blind guy.
Just another useless fucking blind guy.
Just like,
dude, that scene was so fucking brutal. I was like, wow, Homelander really went there. Oh my God.
I'm sure the clip is out there and I will find it. But I'll be fair though. I'll talk about my favorite scene in which Clark is trying to focus his hearing and he's turning on all these things and noises to just focus up his hearing. And then Jonathan helps him and is like, "Focus on the sound of my voice." And that whole scene, that was
so good because he needed to learn how to control his super hearing because now his super hearing has manifested.
It just reminds me another of Man of Steel, like with Martha Kent does it. And I'm like, that's where Man of Steel got it from. That scene right there.
Focus on my voice.
Oh yeah, oh absolutely.
It was like so on the nose. I'm like, this was a Man of Steel, and I'm like, but I think Smallville did it great because Jonathan's like, focus on my. I'm like, that right there was so good. I'm like, that.
What the difference is between with Man of Steel because he's like, you got to focus on what you really want to see, not just like focus on like be able to hear me. You got to like focus on what you really want to see because your senses are all over the place and it's overwhelming for him in the scene.
Chloe, we're talking before we started. Chloe got really screwed over in this.
Oh yeah, because this is one of those. This is the episode where Chloe has to come clean of what she was really doing as an intern at the Daily Planet and working for Lionel Luthor to investigate Clark. And Clark found out about that. Like, oh, even when his super hearing eavesdropped on their conversation during a phone call.
She got railroaded by the Luthors twice in this episode.
Oh, yeah,
Luthors
twice.
Railroaded her.
By Lex and Lionel.
Job, and then Lex takes her father's job.
I'm because he thought that he was spreading rumors about him, and that's why. And that's why he got her dad fired.
Which to me, I'm like thinking, Lex. I was waiting for Ryan to say this. I'm like, I was figured Ryan would say, if I would thinking, Lex, brother in Christ, your father has screwed you over so many times. Does this really seem not plausible that your father would say this about you?
Because technically it was kind of Clark's fault that he just opened his big mouth to Lex and then he ran with it. So that was technically Clark's fault that got Chloe's dad fired.
But that doesn't make sense. Ryan, what do you think?
I mean, it checks out. I mean, like Lex is literally missing 6 weeks of his own life because of his
Because
own father. So it checks out. It just, yeah, I don't know. It just like it feels like a dumb moment from Lex, a rare dumb moment, if you will.
because he goes after Chloe. He's I fire like to me. It's like the most dickish thing Lex has done on this show so far is he took away her father's job. I'm like
Yeah,
Lionel
that
was just
that was very cold. That was very cold and a dick move on his part. I will admit.
And the show tries to rationalize it in the closing when it's
her
I am
father's
in,
fault.
yeah,
What?
and like he thinks I'm weak, which means that I am more powerful. I'm like, bro, you
Oh,
literally took
really?
away a dude's job, like just to get back at your dad. Like, back up a bit and think about how that makes you look.
I just lost my Daily Planet column. My dad just got laid off from his job at Luther Corp this morning.
Perhaps I treated you too harshly. And I have the greatest advantage. He thinks I'm weak.
Scientists were so preoccupied with whether or not they could, they didn't stop to think if they should.
I mean, that's kind of a self-pity right there.
It makes you like a pity little child. It makes you you're actually proving your father's point in a way.
Exactly. And one of the best parts about this episode is about Clark struggling with his blindness, but also because now he's going to have a teacher or some doctor to try to help him guide him through, because it could have been permanent for him. I mean, we don't know what the hell was going to happen. We didn't know if it was going to be temporary. Now, because that would have changed everything about his life. And now the scene where he eavesdrop on Martha and Jonathan about trying to find a teacher that gives him a special treatment for his schoolwork because he may not be able to attend real class. But Jonathan refuses because he doesn't know if he can trust anybody. But Martha is trying to put her foot down, saying like, you think you can do this all your own, but you can't. You need to rely on people.
Also,
Yeah,
I like how
and that,
Martha makes a reference to Superman, saying like, "You both aren't Superman."
Yeah,
I was
both
like,
are not you think you're Supermen.
At that point, even God's going, "Do you get it?"
I mean, she always does, but particularly here when she dropped that line, I was just like, yeah, this might not be like as
Yeah,
temporary as
it
we
was on a
think.
nose. I will admit, when I first saw that, when I first heard her say that word, it was on a nose, but at the same time, it was kind of subtling if you really think about it. It was not like in your face.
The
I
main
also
through
like,
line of this episode, I think, is Clark going blind, but it also like opens his eyes metaphorically to like stuff that's been going on.
and he
Oh
gets new
yeah.
ability in this episode.
Yeah, he gets a new
super
ability now. His
Yeah,
super
he's
hearing
got,
kicked in.
Which, by the way, I will say, and I'm sorry, man, I'm sorry, but I thought him going blind, I'm like, that just felt like a cheap gimmick for his super hearing. Because I'm like,
Yeah, I mean, that's a fair point. That's fair. Like, I get it. I think
that's
they
just
just wanted to continue the struggle for Clark. They wanted to be a little bit more, I don't know how to put this. I don't know. It's very difficult to explain.
imagine if he went deaf in this episode.
Oh, that would have been worse.
and
Oh
then
my
like
God.
rebounding like from hearing nothing at all to hearing everything, and then having him to find the balance.
By the way, he basically he goes
oh God, sorry if I'm interjecting for a minute, but I think because when you go blind, your senses are starting to heighten more when you lose your sight. And I thought that they thought that the logical thing for him to have his super hearing kicked in and all of his senses are now like heightened on so many levels that would have logically make more sense. I don't know. I'm trying to justify it.
by the way, this is Matt's favorite episode. I just want to point that out. Yeah, here's the thing. I do like, there are things I do outside. I like Pete getting kidnapped. I thought that was great, but the only thing is though, I did have one issue with it. I thought that was great. The subject of Pete getting kidnapped and them telling the robbers, "Hey, we're gonna kill your son if you don't let this guy go free." I like that aspect of it. How it turned out though with them kid, he just says, "Me, get in a truck," and I'm like, "Who the hell are you?" Like, and then he's like, and then all of a sudden,
And just grabs him out in the middle of nowhere in broad daylight.
You don't wear a
Like,
ski mask or nothing. You literally, what?
Yeah, like why would you risk showing your face unless you have no intention of keeping him alive?
And he's driving around town in the vehicle he kidnapped Pete in too. It's like, well, it's just a blind guy here, so I mean, I think I'm pretty good.
Yeah,
Like,
no one's gonna notice.
Like,
Nobody's gonna fucking notice.
Like, I'm just like, are you serious? You're kidnapping somebody? At least wear a ski mask.
And he's got
So
a powerful criminal defense lawyer. How the
I just
fuck
like
did
there's
that
so
work?
many things.
You're
I was like,
not Wilson Fisk, bro.
this guy's like, I'm bald though, so I could be. He
Vanessa,
grabbed it. He
how dare you hit
waited
my
until the guy
Vanessa?
did this, and they put the ski mask on. He did not go wait. I would have thought it'd been clever if he would have put the mask on. Then the guy goes in and goes, eh, and then jerks off his throat to make the loud sound. And then of course, I mean that's what he's doing in the episode. He's going,
just jerking off his throat.
And all of a sudden, at one point, he's like, "I'm sorry. He's trying to do this. I'm gonna get you, Clark. I'm sorry. I'm just having performance issues." It's like, but no, I thought really he should have, like, after he did the voice thing, the guy then should have came with the ski mask. Instead, the guy goes in the building as he does that, and then he just puts the mask on in the building. I'm like, everyone can identify in the lineup.
And it's a small town. It's a small town too.
Also, they were planning on escaping to another country or something. I listened to it. I was like, wait, how do they have the money to? Like, literally, the guy's driving around in a stolen in a tow truck that he committed like 7 crimes with already. I was like, how do you have a private jet? I call BS on that. Also, I did like that, like how how he goes to rescue Pete and then it backfires, and it's only, by the way, if you're a villain, ever a super villain, would the smartest thing to do is try to hurt a blind guy's eyes who is already blind. The guy is blind, and yet you went for the eyes.
Yeah, he went for the blowtorch. He went for the blowtorch to try to blind a blind guy. Like, how did that make any sense?
That's like a deaf guy trying to be like slap him in the ear. Like, he's already deaf, so it does no good. It's like he went for this. You like this blind guy? I'm like, I don't know what the hell you're doing, man. I don't know what the hell I can't see you, idiot. It's like, you like that? I'm like, he's blind.
It would have been funny if that happened and Clark would be like, "Joke's on you. I'm already blind." Bang.
I'm already blind, dumbass.
Also, he can't use his superpowers. Like, you would think. Like, he never uses superpowers once, except for the end where the guy does this. Clark, by the way, once he gets all of his powers back, or not, once he gets his sight back, whatever, and then a guy's like this says, "Watch this," and all of a sudden, and then the thing guy, and all of a sudden,
yeah, and then you had a bunch of junk cars falling over him, so Clark inadvertently fucking killed the guy.
He's like
in that episode of Breaking Bad where the dude Gonzo is like trying to lift the car and he dies like sitting there. Like,
yeah. I remember that episode. Oh my god, what is wrong with you, dude? What are you doing?
I need to watch that and Better Call Saul.
That should be the next rewatch podcast is Breaking Bad.
Oh,
that would be great.
I agree 100%.
I mean, they're all you can watch the entire series on Netflix. Talking Bad. There you go. Which is already wait. Well, actually, that was already been taken, so I forgot to mention.
I was going to say AMC.
Bad Talk.
There you go. That's for.
I just did that.
That's for.
Did you see how I turned that around?
What we should do? You know what? I'm in for that. I want to see Breaking Bad all the way.
Oh, it's definitly my favorite show.
I've only seen the first episode, and then I say, I'll wait. I was like, I'll wait. I'm good. But
the first season is very good, but considering what happens afterwards, it's definitely the weakest of the seasons. It's like after Nico gets introduced, it gets broken wide open.
Oh yeah, I was in by this time I watched the first episode. The first episode I was in like that. Like, I got hooked. Not when it was aired, not when it was on Netflix, because I watched it a little bit late in the game.
I'll have to check it out.
Yeah, I watched that show many times, and it's my favorite show of all time. I don't want to overhype it, but it's definitely an incredible show.
Coming to this YouTube channel 2026, Bad Talk.
Which I do think that the Clark being a dick to Lana, I didn't like that at the beginning, where he's like, "I don't need your sympathy, Clark." Well, I was like, come on.
I think, but you got to be fair with him. I mean, he's in a fucking emotional moment because he lost his sight and he feels like, fuck it. Like, what's the point of all this? Like it's a lot to take in. It's a lot to process when you lose your sight for the first time.
And
like, I get it once again, like, Clark, my brother in Christ, you literally did this like a couple of episodes. Like, at the beginning of this season, you pushed Lana away, and then Lana pushed you away. and now it's like you're pushing
It's
her
musical
away
chairs
again.
at this point.
Yeah,
It's
it's
literally
musical
like
chairs.
just a pendulum. I'm just sitting there like, just break up. Like, just one of you needs to move and change.
Just cut it loose. Cut each other out of your lives.
Lana, move to
like,
freaking Gotham so that way we can get this over with.
I mean, we do get a
just
we
move
do get a
move to
name of-
Metropolis with Ant now. Just move there.
I mean, we do get the name of a certain pretty prevalent Superman character dropped in the
Lois.
next episode.
Lois
but
Lane.
yeah.
Chloe's cousin Lois.
So yeah, apparently, Chloe it has a cousin, Lois Lane.
Yeah. We will talk about that in a second, but I do want to
that.
say one thing about Lex before we move on.
Yeah.
I really thought Lex, there was a couple things I liked about Lex in this episode where he paid Lana's hospital bill. I thought that was great. So he's like,
I think that made a lot more sense because if he had not paid the hospital bill, who's paying for your health care? How can you afford that?
Yeah, I thought that was very great. But I do like that Lana didn't want a handout. She's like, I can handle my own thing. I did like that he did that for her. And
yeah, because he felt guilty. Because he felt guilty because he knows that he was responsible for her injury after he had a psychotic break when he was drugged.
When she said this. And I do also like that he offers Clark, says, look, I can get, if you say the word and I'll get the best vision.
Oh yeah, he was willing to give him the best treatment for eye surgery.
And which Lex is like, he's like, I'm fine on my own. And like, even Lex looks at him like, dude, you're blind. This isn't like, a handout. This is like you can't see, and you'd rather be blind than have me help you. Are you serious? Like,
we don't know what the doctors will do to him if they do operation on his eye. It might break some of the things on him because he's invulnerable.
That's a good point, but at the same time, in the words of Stephen A. Smith, use your common sense. Like, serious.
Which I will say though, at the end is when Lex becomes like a dick territory. Which I was waiting for Ryan's response on this. Do you think that like Lex doing that? Do you think Lex is more towards like? Do you think Lex just did that because he's mad at Chloe, or do you think he's more embracing his nature?
I think it might be a little bit of both. Because I mean, I think as this season has progressed, and again, I'm the new guy around here. I'm watching this all for the first time.
You're the newbie. You're the rookie. Yeah. You're going on the journey.
So I think for a lot of these characters is like the Titanic is on its way to the iceberg for what their destinies are going to end up being. So I think Lex is not all the way there yet, but he is definitely falling further and further down the slippery slope, and we'll touch on that at the ending of talking about Delete.
He did guilt trip Clark though, like at the end when he says, I did this for you. So I kept my father off your trail. Like, he almost felt like he basically guilt tripped Clark into saying, see, what I did was justifiable. I ruined Chloe's life.
Oh yeah, he did.
And I'm
did
like,
guilt
that
trip
kind
him.
of to me felt like that's a moral. I'm like, but then again, I was like, see right there, Clark, that's why you should not trust him. Okay, because he's proving you his last name to you.
Even
right
Pete brought it up during the Asylum episode. Like, I got your back, but Lex won't. And he's right.
He's proving his last name to you right now by doing that.
He's a Luthor. He's still a Luthor. Like, no matter how much he has your back, he has
the apple does not fall far from the tree.
Yep,
exactly.
Absolutely.
So the pieces of the puzzle are on the table. They are just not yet arranged properly, but I have a feeling that they're going to be very soon. But let's go to ratings. Jacob, 1 to 10 shields. What you got?
I'm going to give this about a 7 out of 10.
All right. Matt, what about you?
After talking about this episode, I will take it back. It's not my favorite episode after getting into it. So,
really?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I take it back, you sons of bitches. After this whole talk of this episode, like even some of the problems that we thought were stupid, that I get it. So yeah, I'm gonna give this a 7.5. It's a solid, good episode, minus the whole jerking off of the fucking voice, like Black Canary wannabe.
I am going to go, I'm going to agree with Jacob, and I will go 7. There is legitimately some very good things here, some stupid things. It's not a bad episode. I feel slightly bad because this episode comes immediately after Asylum, so you're just automatically cut off at the knees, but just, like, there's some things I really liked, some things I really didn't like, but overall I think I can confidently say it was just okay. But Jacob, please stop doing
You're
that.
enjoying it way too much, bro. It looks like you're really working that wrist.
There's actually a scene. There's actually a movie with Steve. Is it Steve? Who is the guy? Steve. What was his name? Steve Zahn.
Oh yeah, I think I know who you're talking about.
Steve Zahn. It's called Strange Wilderness.
Oh, I have not seen Strange Wilderness.
And
I've
there's a
heard about it,
scene-
but I know I've heard know about
I'm
it, but I
not gonna
never
say
watched
what
it.
happens, but there's a scene where he's peeing and a turkey bites his junk is on his junk. They take him to a vet, and then the nurse is like, "I got to get the turkey off your throat," and they're trying to pull him, and he's like, and he sees the hot nurse, and he's like, "Come on, he's got an erection." And he's like, "Dude, he says he's hot. Well, stop stroking the turkey's neck then." He said, "Because it's not well."
Oh boy!
And they're like, "We can just cut its head off. That could work."
Nice. You got it, man.
I heard it was a weird fucking R-rated comedy movie.
It feels like an Adam Sandler movie that's rated R.
Yeah, it almost looked like it was a made by Happy Madison with Adam Sandler.
Because there's a couple of Adam Sandler people in there.
Like, isn't it the same company that made that movie? Happy Madison.
You gotta watch that one. That movie's wild. Actually, it's actually pretty funny though. It got a limited release, but it's actually pretty funny. Jonah Hill's in it too.
I definitely heard Jonah Hill's in that movie too.
Y'all remember that terrible Baywatch movie with The Rock and Zac Efron?
I've never watched it.
I went and saw that a week after my birthday. My dad wanted to see it, and I'm not gonna lie, I enjoyed it. I thought it was funny.
I'm not gonna lie, I skipped watching it, and I've never watched it since because I've seen the results. The trailers did not do anything for me. It looked awful. The reviews came out, and it was proving me right. So I decided, I know what
scene you're talking about. Are you talking about the bench scene?
Yes.
Where the guy stuck his junks in the bench.
And like Alexandra Daddario.
Yeah, they had that fucking idiot from fucking who was popular on Vine at the time, and fucking was cast in this fucking movie.
Y'all remember Vine? Pepperidge Farm remembers.
Oh man, I remember those days when Vine was big.
Yeah. What's it called? MySpace would like to have a word with you, Ryan or Matt.
It was the day when it was sort of like the version of MySpace of TikTok.
At my job, I run this program where I group 3 DVDs together with a common theme. I put together a Ryan Reynolds one with Free Guy, The Proposal, and The Hitman's Bodyguard. And on the back of the Proposal DVD was a link to their MySpace page, myspace.com/proposal movie. And I showed everybody like I had just found a historical artifact, like, hey, MySpace, look.
There's a joke in MySpace in the Adam Sandler movie Funny People where they're like, fuck MySpace, fuck Facebook, MySpace all the way. And I'm like, watching it now, I'm like, oh, Adam Sandler, do you I got news for you in the future. You're on the wrong team because Facebook is 10 times popular than MySpace.
But RIP to MySpace. But let's move on now. This is season 3, episode 11, called Delete.
Wednesday on an all-new Smallville.
Whatever there was between us, it's gone.
The choices she makes
have the most beautiful eyes I've ever seen.
He's controlling you are not her own. All-new Smallville on the WB Wednesday night.
After leaving an article full of denunciations about the Summerholt Neurological Institute, with her former colleague at the Daily Planet, Max Taylor, Chloe is chased by Clark Kent, who tries to run her down with his truck. He claims that he had received an email just before his action. Later, Lana also receives an email from the same address and tries to kill Chloe on the steps of Smallville High. She literally turns into Sonya Blade. It's great. Clark and Chloe, with a little help from Lex, investigate the mysterious email origin, and they discover that Molly Griggs, a former patient of the unethical Dr. Garner, is using her meteor rock abilities to force people to kill through a hypnotic suggestion in her emails. Meanwhile, Adam moves to Smallville to be close to Lana, despite that nobody knows anything about him. Also, Lex makes contact with Dr. Garner and threatens to expose his unethical practices unless he helps him regain his memory of the last 7 weeks. So yeah, this was my favorite episode of the 3. I thought there was a lot of stuff going on. The action scenes I thought were legitimately really cool, especially the high school one where like Chloe and Lana fight. I thought that fight was so well done. Jacob, what about it?
All this episode was missing was every time they fought, someone yelling, Mortal Kombat!
Round 1, fight.
Yeah.
Oh my God, Ryan! When you show the clip of them fighting, put Mortal Kombat, the Mortal Kombat theme in that background of the fight.
Oh yeah.
that literally, like, first off, Clark tries to kill her, and then she's like, which I was like, I like that sequence because you're like, oh my god, it's Clark. But then you realize, well, Clark would never be able to get infected by a computer virus because he's a Kryptonian. Like, like he would literally never. And there's a reason why I'm not going to say that's a future spoiler, but
in the business, we call this foreshadowing.
I'm just saying, Clark is virus proof. Okay, so that makes no sense that Clark would be able to like withstand a computer virus. Well, that would not be able to withstand. Also, I did like though that I did like the fact that everybody's trying to kill Chloe. Even the Kents are trying to kill Chloe. And where Chloe's like, the one place she's like, oh, they're not gonna hurt me.
Yeah, the chick. Yeah, the chick was Molly was one pulling all the strings and murdering, trying to get everyone to murder Chloe.
Martha's got the Children of the Corn knife, like that.
Oh my god! Like I was like, damn, dude, what is this? Children of the Corn?
Which, all right, there's some good things. To be fair to Matt, there are some good things and there's some terrible things in this episode.
First of all, yeah, the school fight was pretty cool and all, but my God, they would have gotten arrested.
That's right. I put that in my thing.
I was like, what the fuck?
You got suspended.
It's
you pulled the axe out
to watch
on her.
because everybody's kung fu fighting. Everyone act like they're in the Mortal Kombat fucking scene.
You assaulted
even fucking Adam pretty much knows kung fu. Oh, I guess. Where'd you learn how to fight? Oh, I guess Jackie Chan movie.
Yeah, he is anger. He is rage. He is Buttman.
Joking about that the other night. Like he's like it's like he quacks like a Batman. He moves like a Batman. He sounds like a Batman. What is he? Not Batman because Warner Bros. Wouldn't allow it. But they did say like that this episode kind of set him up as Batman, but then I think the next episode they kind of went away from that direction because they couldn't do it. I think by the next episode they were like, you cannot use him. He's not Batman. You cannot make him.
Yeah, I think the writers at the time were going to try to like set him up as a version of Batman until they had to change that because legally the Warner Brothers would not allow that on television because they did not want him to make him more of a knockoff from Batman.
I guarantee you, if they were, I guarantee you, because when the boy touches him in Hereafter, it almost felt like, oh yeah, it was going to be him sitting with bats or flying around him or something with a cape, and I guarantee you that would have been it. Like Adam trying to stop Lana with the axe and everything. I thought that was cool. And there's also, I'm talking about, Matt, when they're one of the fat guy that's Lex's employee that he's
yeah. The computer tech geek guy.
Winslow Scott.
Yeah, Winslow Scott. Yeah, I know who you're talking about. The same actor that, without spoiling anything, I'm not going to tell you who he will play. He will play another character, which I will not give that away.
I'm not going to tell you, but basically they bring the same actor back to play a different role. But it all checks out if you think about it, because they never say his name, so he could be Winslow Scott in this episode. Because he did technically.
But what about here's another one that I want to interject. The episode of I think it was like Shatter episode when Clark was going on a check to the mansion. And all of it was all cleaned up and all of it was like sanitized and all that shit. He makes the guard, and the same actor will play another character in season
10. Yeah.
Yeah, you know who I'm talking about.
Uh-huh. Maybe he
it's one of those it's one of those it's one of those fucking CW networks where they always bring back the same actors to play another supporting role.
Because it's in Canada, which Ryan, the showrunners have said, there's the reason we bring back a lot of the same actors because back then Vancouver was not a big spot to shoot in. And it's hard to get background actors to come to Vancouver in Canada to shoot scenes. So basically, they just go to local places and they're like, "Look, he says, hey, has anyone here played Smallville before?" And they're like, "Yeah, I have." Well, can you play another character because we kind of need this character casted, and you've done it before, and so it's easier and also it's more convenient because the actors know what their sides, how to block and all that stuff. So it's much
they know how to work with the same people because they've worked with them before and they're comfortable working.
Even though you're going to be like, wait a minute, wasn't that guy die in episode 4?
Yeah, so because if you're one of those viewers at home that don't watch it as many times, you're probably not going to notice it the first time. But then when you look back and watch it like on repeat, then you be able to spot that shit.
They did say they never bring back like if you're like, say for instance, that guy that did this. They never bring back
they never
episode
bring back
actors.
The same actor.
They never play a different character. They never do that because they said that would be hard to explain and that would create more plot holes and errors and all that stuff. They did say though they do.
What about the Ashmore twins, the brothers?
Yeah, which
You know who I'm talking about.
Shut up,
Yeah.
dude. I know. You don't even. Yeah, they do something. They did something because they're. Yeah, they did something. But I will let them slide. They do something stupid.
But I will say, because at first I thought it was Sean Ashmore, but it turns out that was his twin. That was his twin brother Aaron, the whole time. And I didn't know that because I didn't know they were identical twin brother. It's not the first time that they both worked together, because they both were in the first X-Men movie, where Aaron Ashmore, the twin brother, played the disguise of Bobby and Mystique. That was his twin brother.
Interesting.
Oh, I know that.
I know that.
But I will say this with you, but Ryan, what did you think though of like the doctor's motivations? Because I thought they were kind of stupid. It's like, you wrote an article, and so now I'm going to kill you because you wrote an article, because there's potential that there's credibility to this article and you can expose me. When really it's like, it's a high school article. I'm like, he's that petty.
Is it going to be something that Chloe might dig up dirt on Dr. Garner that he does not want the public to know?
We live in a current time where like Gerard the completionist is like lashing out because he like totally didn't hide the charity money, but he might have probably did. So it's like the dude is just like, oh, you wrote a bad article about me, well, I'm gonna get you. And like, it's not completely.
Yeah, the plot was kind of the motivation
Wouldn't it
was
made more
kind of
sense if it was
silly.
Lionel?
Yeah, it would have made more sense if it was Lionel. It would not be far off from it. But for Dr. Garner, I was like, really? Seriously?
Yeah, I do also like that the Clark and Lex scene. You know what I'm talking about? The Clark and Lex scene.
I think I know. When they were in Metropolis and he's talking to Lex. Is that the scene you're talking about?
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, it's like, hey, is there something that you're not telling me? Is there something to do with that happening with the last 7 weeks that I've forgotten at Belle Reve?
I thought that was pretty cool. I also liked when he's like, Clark goes to that apartment as fast as he can.
But we already know that's going to be teased for that whole last 7 weeks that Lex had forgotten, and he's desperate to know.
Also, I like seeing the Daily Planet guy get murdered.
Oh yeah, the Daily Planet. Like, what was his work term?
Max Taylor.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Max Taylor. Yeah, that's his name.
I thought that worked really well. I really thought that worked really well. Like, he just gets murdered, and then all of a sudden, the one screaming.
Yeah, he gets murdered by a pencil. Is she fucking connected to? Is she one of those fucking continental assassins? Kill him with the pencil.
Yep, that's true. Yeah. Also, I do like that Clark seeing Lex at the apartment, and then it sounds like it feels like the Terminator theme's being played, because they're like, boom, 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 boom. I'm like, what is this? The T-800 about to show up? Why the hell is this theme playing? Because all of a sudden it's like, I'm talking about when the T-800
first especially in the Shattered episode when Clark was going up to the security guard Darius, and you hear like dun, 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 dun. It almost sounded like a Terminator music.
I'm just like, all right, come on, guys. There's subtle and there's on the nose.
Man, it's Warner Brothers in the early 2000s. They like the writers like to depict things, make it feel like a Terminator-esque.
I also like Lex. How did Lex? Because I mean, I guess maybe Lex was flirting with her and stole the disc. There's no way how would Lex steal the disc?
Yeah, how the hell did he get his hands on that?
Like, it's just like, what do you do? Also, Lex doesn't know his own people that work at Luthor Corp, so like, he would have figured like, hey, like, it would have been smarter if Lex was like, I saw her there, and I figure I'll let her play this all out because I want to see how it plays out. It made more Lex clever. Instead, Lex is like, didn't know that. Oh, okay, where's the Winslow Scott at? Instead, it's just some girl right here. And then, of course, I just thought that was kind of.
And I remember the actress Molly, and I only seen her in a couple of roles. Yeah, she was in Stick It, that little sports slapstick comedy. Then she made an appearance in the episode of the first season of Heroes. And I know you guys have not seen the show, but I thought that you should definitely check that out. You can check out the series on Peacock. I believe that's available to stream on there. The first season is the best season they have ever done on television.
I've heard that the first season's really good, but then the second season.
Yeah, the season 2 and 3 4 kind of went off the rails a little bit. I mean, there's some good stuff in it, but the first season was like the best season that they have ever done on television show. I'm not even exaggerating, because they had a compelling story.
Okay. Well, look at
the first writer's strike kind of killed it, right?
Yeah, the writer's strike killed it in the middle of the second season. That's where they kind of killed it, and then they kind of could not figure out what to do with it anymore. I mean, season 3 was slightly better than season 2, but then 4, like, it was kind of mid.
Also, do you think that yeah, that's true, but we'll have to look into the Heroes. I
highly recommend you will definitely love the first season. It's the best season they've done. Like, I wish they would have continued that cycle and continued that momentum, but then it kind of just. I still enjoyed them, but they weren't as good as the first season. It was not on that top tier level of storytelling.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, as for what do you think? Chloe really think I had some issues with this part. All right, Chloe really thinks Clark tried to kill her. Like Chloe, do you really think Clark? You and him been friends since you were teenagers.
Well, sometimes he can go off. Some people that you know from a long time can go off the rails, no matter what any reasons are.
But Clark tries to save everybody.
Especially with Clark being Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Every time he acts like a completely different person, and she doesn't really understand what the fuck's going on with them. Like, what is like? And he would not tell her about what's really going on, so she doesn't know what the hell to think.
All right, that's fair. That's fair. But let me ask you this, Ryan. This is just for you. I wanted to ask you this. So you remember how Lex finds her through a picture of a security camera of her? You know how crystal clear that security camera looks? This is a photo of a security camera in 2003. And that picture, it looks like it's shot like on a 4K camera. And I'm like, no way in hell.
It looked like it was shot in high def.
That's high definition. In 2003. High definition. I don't care how good your security cameras are in 2003.
It's TV bullshit. It's really TV bullshit. There's no way in hell that they would be in that high resolution. It would be in a low resolution when it comes to security cams. No way in hell that would fly like that.
Also, Clark confronts the doctor too, like trying to get him to confess. What would you think the doctor is really going to confess?
He's going to deny off his ass. He's just going to give you some BS excuses.
Like Clark goes there and confesses, like, Clark,
I know what you're doing. I know what you're doing.
You think it's like, you got me, man. You got me.
Oh, you got me.
Take me to jail, man.
What the fuck is? You think this is a Scooby-Doo?
I would have gotten away with it, Clark, if it wasn't.
Everyone, you're Scooby kids. I would have gotten away with it too. Good, Shaggy.
But also, the Kents try to kill Chloe, which I think is a cool scene. But when are the Kents sitting by the computer or something? Because when the hell did they don't even have a computer? How
they don't even have a cell phone. They don't even have a cell phone. So how in the hell did that happen? How did that make any sense?
Maybe it was like a Videodrome situation. They were hypnotized through their TV.
Maybe.
Because I'm like, there's no way the Kents would ever have a computer to go like, okay, we have to kill Clutch. I'm like, there's no way. There's no freaking way.
It would have happened either way, either from a freaking BlackBerry phone or a fucking computer monitor.
You really think the Kents have a BlackBerry?
No, they don't. They don't. They use a landline phone. Unless they get hypnotized from a fucking landline.
The Kent family, and I'm being generous here, the Kent family do not have a pot to piss in or a window to throw it out.
I mean, seriously, and then they somehow
the Kents live in a dark
Maybe
ages.
She ships them a computer to watch, and it says "Play me immediately, hook me up immediately."
Hello, I want.
If I see a fucking video that have a spam mail that says "Play me," I would never play it. Fuck that. That's
the odds of that. The odds of that being child porn is 100% odds of highly.
That's highly likely on that.
So it's like, if somebody sends me a video that says "Play me," I'm like, this is child porn. I'm not clicking on it. I'm deleting it or calling the FBI.
If I see something that is a spam mail, I will never respond to a spam mail.
Yeah, I sometimes get spam mails that are like, meet hot, horny local singles. And I'm like,
or fucking sex bots. And seeing some hot, horny sex bots. I get sex bots followers all the time on Twitter and Instagram. They fucking keep coming.
Don't we all?
I sent Stephanie, so someone sent me one time. I was like, it made me laugh because it's like someone sent me, like, it was just spam, okay? But I laughed because someone's like, he says, I've been thinking about you. Now let me see that dick. And as I said, Stephanie laughed so hard. She said, that was very blunt, and he said they want that dick. I said that was a very blunt response. Like, that made me laugh. It was just like they started out like Jekyll and Hyde, like nice and polite. That's like,
and you remember Ryan, when we were on the Suit Up Geeks podcast and they did a live stream and there was a bunch of sex bots kept spamming the comment section. I was like, what the fuck is going on? They keep coming and he keeps blocking. Dives kept blocking them and they kept coming back.
That happened with Jacob Martin on the watch along. It's just like
it's like, where the fuck are they all coming from?
I think what it is keywords. If you say keywords on a certain thing, then you'll get like, because it's like, you know how Big Brother, they always say Big Brother wants you. If you say certain words and you're on Google or something, then certain like keywords will then be entered, so that way in the chat, then that way it's easier for them to find you. But I will say though, I do think this episode really does. I think it was ahead of its time in cybersecurity because like right now we're living in a world right now, especially what just happened with Insomniac and Rocksteady and
oh yeah, they're getting hacked.
Rockstar.
Especially, did you know that Rockstar got hacked too?
Yeah, all three of them got hacked, and it's like really like this is
like,
right
why
now.
are you trying to ruin? Why are you trying to ruin the tease of these future upcoming games that we've been anticipating and trying to ruin the surprises for us?
And this kind of feels like this episode is like ahead of its time. So this one, obviously, that was happening with Insomniac is more of a ransom, but versus this is where this girl is doing this for homicidal tendencies. And so it's like, she
wanted to do it for Dr. Garner because Dr. Garner took a fond of her and exploited her. And she wanted to be needed. Same thing with Chloe. What happened with Chloe, the situation when Lionel hired her to be an intern at the Daily Planet, then also investigate Clark. She wanted to be needed and wanted it. And he got her at a moment of weakness.
Yep. But but I really did like this episode. If I had to give it a shield, I would give this like 9 out of 10, or at least 8 out of 10.
Wow,
I would say
a lot. Oh, okay.
8 out of 10.
All right.
Well, Jacob is an 8. Matt, what you got?
Despite some of the problems, I would definitely give the same thing with an 8. It's definitely a lot better than the Whisper episode.
You know what? We are simpatico. I will go 8. I did enjoy this one. It was my favorite of the 3. And,
I mean, I can get past that whole stupid Mortal Kombat scene in the fucking high school.
And they got suspended. I'm like, bitch, you would get expelled.
You would get expelled. You would get arrested.
That is attempted murder.
For attempted murder. It's like, no, I was hypnotized. They would not care about your story. They would not believe it. They would have you in cuffs.
Where was the faculty at? Where the fuck were the faculty? Each other, and you're using an axe.
And here's the thing: if this were today, because in today, I used to go to school where there was a couple of cops at the school. They would have had cops around.
If you fight, they would arrest you. Like literally, I'm like, are you serious? Like. This dude, she's literally has an intent to kill. If you were to grab an axe, first off, I don't know any school that has an axe.
Yeah, where the fuck did that come from?
Fire axe. I know that's in movies, so I'm not gonna blame Smallville. That has seen in movies, like especially Halloween H2O and all that stuff. Where there's a fire axe there. But I will say, if someone's getting a fire axe, I'm like, that right there is attempted murder.
It's like, guys, get the faculty. There's attempted murder going on.
She's like swinging too. Like she's intent to kill. She's not like
she was just going to town on that axe.
Considering who the principal is of this school, I imagine all the faculty was watching Lean on Me for the 100th time.
The principal's like, let me go get my bat.
Hell no.
Which
like, I prepared for this moment my whole life. But it
would have been funny if he would have came with a bat and she would have cut the bat in half and then kicked him across the room.
You're like, oh hell no.
Also, this virus apparently makes you like a freaking ninja, or like because everyone, especially the kids, all have superpower because they're like extreme fighters. It's like she nerfed them and like, all right, now it's Mortal Kombat time, and all of a sudden they're like,
Jonathan had the kryptonite because of knowing his weakness.
It's like that scene in the Matrix. It's like in that scene in the Matrix where Neo gets downloaded with all the fighting styles, like drunken boxing and kung fu.
That visual sequences when they were being hypnotized, it almost looked like a Matrix. The whole coding thing. I think that's
the whole point. All we needed was like Rob Zombie playing in the background, but a techno version.
I mean, Matrix Resurrections and Reloaded came out the year prior, Matrix
Revolution.
But Reloaded Revolution.
Not
Resurrection. We're not going to talk about that. Ugh.
No, dear God, no.
God.
Let's now dive into the final episode of this particular episode, season 3, episode 12, called Hereafter.
Inside one town. How much do you really know about your new friend?
It's a conspiracy. All new Smallville on the WB Wednesday.
Jordan Cross is a new transfer student to Smallville High School who has a frightening ability. When he is touched by another person, he immediately sees how he or she will die. When Clark saves the suicidal Coach Altman from death, the future of other people changes, including Lana's. Jordan also learns Clark's secret after he physically bumps into him. Meanwhile, Chloe finds that Adam is injecting himself with some kind of experimental medication, while his increasingly erratic behavior troubles Lana. When Jordan touches Adam, he tells Lana that Adam had already died. Also, Lex continues to investigate his past to regain his memory. So, yeah. Also, one note before we dive into the meat of the episode. The episode starts with the song 100 Years by Five for Fighting. I'm 15 for a moment. It's legit one of my favorite songs.
It's a great fucking song, bro. Great song. Great
it's
way
a
to
sad
jog.
song.
Great way for a jog and during gym, during PE.
I mean, it's a very sad song.
No, I'm not gonna lie. I think I remember playing that song when I was in gym in junior high. Because it reminded me of that episode. Like, oh, I might as well do the same.
Yeah, and the previous episode ended with "The Reason" by Hoobastank, which is another one of my favorite songs.
Yeah,
so
another good.
So, what do you think?
This show just hacked my YouTube music playlist, and I have no problem with that.
That whole thing, when I watched that episode, that made me start in my home like fucking MySpace playlist.
But Jacob is laughing for some
Oh,
reason.
he's done. He's already done. We'll
just laughing at something stupid that happened. The way I read the scene at the beginning, okay, I like the opening scene, how like the kid's running, and then the coach seemed like, then the kid like just the kid touches the coach. And then he sees the kid, it looks like eye contact. It just almost felt like the coach was going to not kill himself. But then he's like, that kid gave me a weird look. So I'm just going to go kill myself now. I was having a good day. And then the kid made eye contact with me and ruined my day. I'm just going to kill
he was already good at planning on killing himself since
I know, but it just made me look
since the doctors took his daughter off of life support recently. Like this was not like ages ago. Like he was just like, fuck it, got nothing to lose.
The way the scene came in contact, just the way the scene was edited and everything.
Here's out of control. Here's a fucking high speed car on a fucking side street in the middle of the high school. Here's a right time to just simply kill myself.
I was gonna go home and watch. She said, and watch Lean on Me, but now because of you,
I was gonna sit at home watching Coach Carter.
Okay, and now because of you, I'm gonna go kill myself because you had to look at me weird. Okay, it's like
he had to make it or inadvertently make eye contact.
You had to looked at this was the coach's face, like he was like, yeah. And then after he made that eye contact, he went,
he's like, huh?
Well, fine. If that's how you want to play it, I'm gonna go kill myself. I mean, that's the way I read the scene. I'm just like, I started laughing. I'm like,
yeah, but there's another. Yeah, but then the next scene when fucking Jordan Cross just meets up with Clark, and then he sees the card, and it was about to come true. He's like, not today. The coach had an idea. Huh? Okay. Just walks in the street. And honestly, no one saw Clark super speed and saving his life. He was literally out in the open. Everybody was watching.
There's something I do like about this kid. Also, the kid, by the way, if you've ever seen Jack Frost.
I've seen Jack Frost, the one with Michael Keaton. Oh yeah. He was he's such a But did you know that his last name, he has the same last name, except that he has a different first name. His name is Joseph Cross. So literally, the writers named the last name after himself.
It should have been named Alex.
Like Alex Cross. Oh, I see what you did there.
Like,
oh no,
Alex Cross.
Yeah. We will not be discussing that awful Tyler Perry movie in this house.
First off, people be like, "That's Alex Cross." You're Alex Cross. Like, yes, I am Alex Cross.
No, we're not related. It's just a coincidence.
It's like, I'm sure you're not related. I am positive.
It's just a coincidence, like the guy from Office, who has the same name as the fucking rap
Michael
singer.
Bolton.
Yeah, Michael Bolton.
Which, by the way, I do like that the kid reminds me of Professor Xavier. If you ever watch X-Men: Days of Future Past, there's a beautiful scene where Wolverine is talking to young Charles, and they're talking about, like he said, you thought you were going crazy when you were a kid, and you all heard the voices.
Yeah. When it all started with all the voices in his head, and everything else is in your head.
Yeah, and you know what? I said that reminded me. He reminded me so much of a Charles Xavier, where he can touch everybody and see everybody die, and I think honestly, he just needs someone to guide him, because he
needed a guidance like Clark himself.
Yes, that's
legit. My favorite moment in Days of Future Past is when Charles, like Patrick Stewart, talks to James McAvoy.
Oh yeah, he's talking to his older self, who has been through all this, who has all the answers, and he's wise. When you're talking to your younger self, who doesn't have fully all the answers, and you're a broken man who just lost everything, and you need someone who has been through this as a support group, kind of like a support group. If you really think about it,
I
kind of like in No Way Home, talking to his other versions of Spider-Man.
Yeah, I do like though. There's a scene in Days of Future Past that I really love as well, where everything I like. I love that scene between both Xaviers, but the scene where Magneto is like giving that beautiful speech at the end, young Magneto, and
that
then all the X-Men
future.
are dying, and it's proving him right because everything he's saying is coming true in the future. And I'm like, that is good filmmaking right there because everything he's saying about the weapons to destroy it, they're all dying, and everything he's saying is coming true in the future.
Yeah, you built the weapons to destroy us because you're afraid of our gifts. You're afraid of what we're capable of.
And it's just like everything he's saying is coming true, and it's like the movie proves him right. Magneto right. Something Marvel would never do. Marvel would never do that.
Well, because Marvel doesn't want to take as many risks as
they
what
don't want
Fox
you to
had
side
tried
with the villain at the end.
Yeah, because you wanted to. Well, they took the chance with Thanos in Infinity War because Infinity War was more of Thanos' movie because you get more revolved around him and you really get where he's coming from.
There was a deleted line in Black Panther that they had to reshoot the ending a little. Line because they said Killmonger was like the whole ending proved Killmonger right, and Marvel's like you can't have the villain be right at the end.
Well, you gotta understand it's Disney because sometimes Disney is too afraid to take a little bit of risk and break the boundaries and not be a traditional superhero movie that you've seen countless times before. More like sanitizing it and playing it safe.
That's the only reason why I'm scared of them with the X-Men because I don't think they're going to like do it like the way Fox. Fox at least has some.
We'll see what happens with Deadpool 3. We know that they're going hardcore R-rated with Deadpool 3.
And please,
now that you're bringing Wolverine back in this movie.
Please avoid spoilers. Like Ryan Reynolds has been begging.
Yeah, I know. I'm trying. Yeah, remember those leaks that they did online with those set photos? What the hell?
Although Ryan Reynolds trolled the hell out of them by putting the Predator and Urkel and all them in the photo.
Oh yeah, he definitely trolled.
He had Urkel going like this, like, and then
the Predator. I do
that? And the Predator, and then like David Beckham, and then like just all kind of stuff, like stuff. Willy Wonka's in the background, like it just.
Well, they're in the ruin. They're in the ruins of the void of 20th Century Fox.
I thought that was funny. Ryan Reynolds started trolling. All right, here's the leaks, and then it's all fake leaks. And then Ryan Reynolds is like Ryan Reynolds with Green Lantern behind him. It's just like, just like that's. But I will say this episode though does remind me of a Charles Xavier character. Like, and this I like that we are not focused on a villain this time around because usually we get like the villains and it makes me kind of mad.
Mostly the villain is your premonition, seeing the future as the villain.
Yeah. Also, doesn't it remind you? Me and Ryan were talking about this a little bit. Doesn't it remind you of the old woman that could touch in season?
Oh yeah, that's definitely she. Yeah, because he inherited the same abilities as Cassandra did in the Hourglass episode of season 1, where everything they touch, she has a premonition. They both literally have the same ability.
Although I do like when Clark touches
the craziest one.
Oh, I love the part when he touches Clark and scenes beyond the universe and the galaxy with the red cape. When we already know what his destiny lies.
I just wish they would include the Superman.
We know he becomes Superman. And he even told him, like, you don't have a lifeline. You will be, like, living forever. So, because he's a Kryptonian, and he will outlive every human being on the planet.
Until the Justice League kill him.
Until Doomsday kills him.
Or no, until the Suicide Squad kill him. Sorry, I was trying to make that
joke. The fuck. Motherfucker.
I was trying to make that joke until the Suicide Squad kill. Because you get the joke if you...
Yeah, I get that.
But I liked the scene where Lana sees her vision, or well, he sees Lana's vision, and Lana is like has the necklace around her neck, and like I wonder who the dude is like standing there.
Yeah, who was that dude? I mean, I know it's not Clark. That ain't him. I know that ain't him. That must be someone else.
You know who it is?
She died of an old age, and then ever since that Clark changed and saved the coach's life, he altered the
Batman. That's who it is.
No.
But man.
Oh, it's man.
Or man butt.
Man's man.
I will say also I do like that all right. So there's a thing where all right. So look at my notes. Clark touches a kid and we see okay. Let me rephrase
that just sounded. Clark touches a kid.
The very dark episode of Smallville.
Okay, that just got fucking. You just went to that dark episode there.
I put on my notes. Clark touches a kid. We see super. I'm like, oh, I should have rephrased that a little bit. Clark does not touch the kid. He doesn't touch kids. He puts his hand on the kid's shoulder, the guy's shoulder, whatever the guy's name is, and then he sees him in his future flying through the sky. He's not touching kids, okay? I just want to point out. I worded it poorly, okay? Clark's not in there touching children at all. He's not.
Jacob, abandon ship. Abandon ship.
We're not Lex Luthor. We got to root for Lex in this episode. Lex. I like Lex looking into Lana's business. I like that with Adam. How he's just spying on her, saying, "I heard what." Asking about that, like how he's at.
Yeah, he's digging up his past because he has it. Because also, you're living in an apartment that the owner owns, which is Lex, the co-owner of that fucking apartment. Seeing that him fucking losing his behavior while he's having a big, drastic nightmare, waking up in cold sweats, not being open to what the hell you're doing, you just fucking took that into an overdrive. That nightmare, like, wow, what the hell is going on here? And also, Chloe caught you in the act by sticking a needle in your fucking stomach or your butt or wherever the hell you stuck it with. But my God, like, what the hell are you taking? And I think that because, not that I think, no, you will find out what the hell he was taking that injection, that drug he's taking.
Water.
Yeah, steroids.
Steroids.
He's taking steroids.
But I like how how Adam and Lana are just in this high school, seemingly after hours, with no one really noticing.
I know, what the hell?
It's like the same shit I have problems with Buffy. It's like, okay, you're in the school after hours. At least in Buffy, they had a librarian that worked there. There's no employees. Also, Chloe's also works there. I'm like, does they give you the keys to the school or something? Janitor's like, hey, Chloe, I walk up on the way out. All right. And then Chloe's like, gotcha.
Don't do anything I wouldn't do.
Yeah. He said, you kids, you crazy kids. Also, Chloe, I took a dookie in the toilet and plugged it up. If you could just plunge it for me, Chloe. All right, I will. Later, Sal. Pete, can you go plunge the toilet for me so I can finish this article? Really? Yeah, then we'll go out for pizza. Oh, okay. And Clark, can you do this? No. All right, I guess I'm going to. All right. Which
But going back to the background with Adam, we know that Lex is suspicious about the background, especially the teacher's recommendation, saying the exact same thing, that he's a good, honorable student.
Almost as if they were told what to say.
It sounds like they were been told what to say. He knows that he's full of shit. That
when
his
Lex is
background
reading
is just
documents, he
BS.
goes, "Yeah, I've seen fake documents. These are not."
Yeah, I've seen fake. Look who you're talking to. I'm fucking Lex Luthor, bro.
I like how he's low key threatening Adam too.
Oh yeah, he was threatening Adam. Oh, there's tension between them.
Like, he's investigating.
I remember in the Asylum episode when this guy was introduced, I'm like, I do not care. But now I'm like, all right, where is this going? So it's a bit of an upswing.
Yeah, we've been telling you that he does play a pivotal role. Like, he's not just some one-off character that you're going to see in one episode.
He would have been Batman, but now he's just Man or Butt.
Yeah, now he's just Man.
Which I just think where it's going, I think is stupid compared to what he could have been. Like, it would have been cooler if he was
the potential that he could have gotten for his character until the writers had to turn that around because of WB.
He was a silent guardian, a watchful protector,
the Dark Knight,
not knight. But which, by the way, there are things I don't like about this episode. Like, for instance, have you noticed the coach and the kid's dad look exactly the same?
Yeah, they look like they could have been brothers.
The casting director should have casted better.
Dude, they look like they could have been brothers. They have the resemblance.
I get them confused. I'm like, wait, what does the coach look like? He looks just like the dad. I'm like, okay, I need to read. I'm like, wait, it's the dad that kidnapped Lana? No, it's not the dad. It's like, I'm like, okay, I need to readjust my brain because this.
But also, Jordan's backstory was so dark. He watched at age of 6 when he had that premonition about a woman getting killed on a roller coaster ride and got squashed right in front of him. Oh my God, that would traumatize that kid, scar him from life.
Also, this kid,
that was like that's literally like more of a Final Destination.
Which this kid does incriminate himself by trying to walk the girl home, like just like in a creepy way, like, let me take you home, like as if that's
and you literally just like yelled out in front of the whole school saying that you're gonna die later today, and let me walk you home to make sure you're safe, and you just got her spooked.
I do like how the dude tries to kill himself again. I do like that how they tell this dude, okay, they say all this stuff. I'm like, well, I did not like this part, but they say all this stuff in front of the coach. He's sleeping.
Yeah, Lana and her friend that she hasn't talked to in years, confessing the guilt
walk
that they
outside.
felt responsible
Walk
for
outside. Let's have
like
this
having the coach's
conversation.
daughter die.
It
For
felt
having a-
contrived. It felt contrived to be like, let me tell you this very important backstory that will bite me in the ass later for all the world to hear. And just like, keep your voice down, will you?
And also, that for him to be in a coma, he really. If they say, "Oh, he's asleep," they put anesthesia. I'm like, well, he was wide awake.
Oh, he was, and the moment he fucking opens his eyes, like dun dun dun.
Yeah, which I do like how it gives you breadcrumbs of like what's happened. Chloe finds the. I do like that. I do like that he tries to kill. I'm gonna kill myself and kill you at the same time.
He was literally, he was essentially trying to create a ritual suicide.
It was like that was dark as hell. And then Clark.
That was so dark. A man with nothing to lose.
And Clark
and then
lets him die.
But he
too.
needs
Like,
to find a reason to put the blame on someone. Now he has a reason to blame someone. It was two of them who had a big fight, and she stormed out of that fucking place, and then she got hit by a car and got sent into a coma for years, and then she couldn't get out of that coma, so they had to pull the plug.
Clark has a kill count in this episode too, because Clark killed. Clark killed like 3 people. Clark kills 2 people in these 3 episodes. One dude just runs away. This one, he also runs away. He's like, I can't kill you because Superman doesn't kill, but I don't have to save you either.
Well, they couldn't find him. He disappeared. Like, where the hell did he go? We didn't see him die.
Literally, the ending of Batman Begins.
But when Jordan went back in to try to save the coach disappeared. Like, where the hell did he go?
He probably
did he burn himself alive or something?
I thought he killed himself.
Yeah, I mean, it was, well, they didn't show
it.
Did
he pour gasoline all over his body?
No, he did not pour a gasoline over his body. He poured a gasoline around inside the downstairs in the basement. That's about it. But then they get into a big fight, and then the last time we see him is getting into a fight with Jordan. And then
I do feel bad
after
for him.
After he got out, but then he went back in to try to save the coach, and he disappeared. Like, where the hell did he go?
This guy seems like he was a really good coach until.
I mean, he probably maybe he died in a collapse, and they just didn't have enough time to save him.
He seems like he was a really good coach, and so it seems like he was a really good coach up until like when Lana and him compelled. It feels like I blame the kid, because if he wouldn't have given that dirty look, he probably would have went back and coached the next day.
Maybe
he would have been like, he would have been like, instead, because I mean, if he was gonna kill himself, you would think right after his daughter died, he would think about killing himself and just probably do it then, rather than like, I'm gonna think about it. I'm gonna take a couple of days to think about it.
Well, hey, you got to think about ways of what many ways can I do to kill myself?
Like, I'm just gonna jump in front of a random car the second.
It's like, okay, I'll jump in front of a fast-moving car in a side street.
And then a ragdoll that look like me will hit the car and then go down.
Well, anyway, on that positive note, let's go to ratings. Jacob, what do you have?
This is definitely a 6 out of 10.
All right, Matt.
I'm going to go a little bit higher. I'm going to go at 8.5. I like this episode a lot more. I mean, yeah, it's a filler episode, but you know what? It's one of those episodes that it's actually a compelling episode, even if it's a filler. That has nothing to do with the main story. But this was like more of a pivotal moment to the hero's journey for Clark. Like, what if he's destined to change fate?
I'm going to go 6.5. I think there is some meat on the bones here. It's definitely filler. It's not terrible, but I feel like it was just kind of there. But hey, Matt, Jacob's got a message for you.
Oh no, I can see it. I literally can see it.
Yeah,
he's been doing it for like 2 minutes.
Well, anyway, y'all, that is the end.
Oh yeah, but here's the thing: what you forget what Jordan has seen Adam's future. Like, I don't think he was hurt. I think he died.
He touched Adam.
It's leaving a trail of breadcrumbs for Adam even more, even after when Jordan saw his future.
Well, let's see where that goes. I know you.
And now his powers are gone after the explosion. After Clark saved him, he lost that power.
I know where you guys know where this goes, but I need to wait and see.
Right, I know where it goes. I'll tell you right here where it goes. Okay,
don't, dear God, no.
This is where it goes.
What a way to end 2023 for this show. But I pass it off to all of you. What did you all think of these episodes? Let us know in the comments. Love to read what you have to say.
Do you think those two are fucking crazy about the rating of the Hereafter? Please lay down your thoughts in the comment section, bro.
Please tell Matt he can go fuck himself accordingly.
That should be another t-shirt.
It's scriptured.
on that jolly note, thank you all so much for watching, and thank you all because 2023 was a big year for this show, but 2024 is going to be even bigger. So be on the lookout. This train's just going to keep on rolling. We got a few more seasons left, so we're not going anywhere. This is every Tuesday that we're doing this. But Jacob, what have you got coming to your channel?
Well, I basically am doing a collab that will be aired by then with Jacob Martin. It's called Silent Night, Deadly Night 3. And we love 2, but then we hated part 1. And then Jacob Martin's like, I hate this movie. That Jacob Martin has said, I would rather watch Thanksgiving again than watch Silent Night 3 ever again. So that is what we have coming out. This would have been aired by the time this drops. And also I'm gonna try to have a game review up. I didn't do one this week because of Christmas and everything happening, but I will have a review this for Friday, and I'm gonna try to watch Aquaman 2, so we'll see how that works out. And yeah, and that's about it really. Yeah, and if you can, yeah, just tell Matt.
Go find his OnlyFans. He has an OnlyFans site. Go click on it.
Yeah, it's called Rebel Matt Takes It in the Ass 77.
Well, on that positive note, Jacob's link will be in the description. Matt, what have you got coming up?
Well, I did put up my review for the Iron Claw, which is already getting 1,000 views, which is a big surprise. And I put up my recent review, Wonka, which I thought it was so good, and which you definitely should check out my full review on there. And I'm planning on recording another review that I just saw of her early access film called Ferrari with Adam Driver. And I already recorded the top 10 favorite Christmas movies because I can't review individual movies because there's too much, and Christmas is literally around the corner, and I didn't have enough time to do it. So I will go into editing that video next, and tomorrow I'm gonna go see Aquaman 2. So I'm gonna see what all the fuss is about because I already know it's not getting great reviews, but it's the end of the era of the DCEU, so I'm just still gonna go out and see it in the cinema regardless. So
I saw
yeah,
one review that said Aquaman 2 should have stayed in the water.
Aquaman never found the kingdom. It's still lost.
Aquaman lost Aquaman 2, and the Aquaman Lost Kingdom lost the magic.
He lost the magic. He lost the magic with $1 billion film.
James Cameron's like, yes, fuck you, James Wan. Fuck you.
That's like him. That's him saying, suck it, James Wan.
Remember, he talked so much shit about James Wan when Aquaman 1 came out, saying, yeah, call me when you made $2 billion. I was like, oh, well, technically, he's made $2 billion. I mean,
yeah, twice.
Fast. I mean, I'm just saying. Really, you're talking shit about James Wan.
Or maybe he was just doing to crack a joke. Maybe he wasn't being facetious.
He said, "I've seen the sea. I've been in the sea. I've been under the sea for years."
I literally.
Why are you talking so much shit about James Wan? James Wan had nothing but nice things to say about you.
Well, Matt's link tree will be in the description. Go give him a subscribe there. His channel's growing like a weed, so give him.
I know, which is crazy that my channel's growing that quick. Damn.
Yeah, Matt said he's already starting his OnlyFans. I mean, I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, I guess I might as well start my fucking OnlyFans, and that will generate more.
Yeah, he said he's got the Iron Claw coming up on his OnlyFans.
Yeah, here's your Iron. That's the name of the porn name, the Iron Claw.
Yeah, it's all anal too. All anal. Unfortunately.
But as
the all anal final Revenge of the Shit, the all anal final chapter.
Zack and Miri reference.
But as far as this channel goes, we crossed 400 subscribers. It literally took me uploading from December 2015 up to now. It's taken me 8 years, but I finally made it to 400, and I cannot thank you all enough for subscribing. I'm actually at 404 as of this recording, so I do truly appreciate it very much. I want to thank these two guys for doing this show with me every week. It is so much fun to do it with them. It's recording this is always just a highlight of my week, and I tell them this both on camera and off. So I really do appreciate it. 2023 was a very big year for this channel, but 24 is going to be somehow even bigger. Jacob, just make your jokes now. Just make them.
It's going to be big, long, and hard.
That's what she said.
Sure, let's just go with that. But I do have big plans coming.
Explode all over the place.
Oh God. Oh yeah,
Sure,
he'll definitely explode all over the
There'll be
place.
some big dick energy in this house.
Sure,
Yeah,
that.
it'll probably work that wrist.
But
The shaft will be really taken care of on this.
But I've got big plans for 2024, and Smalltalk will absolutely be involved in those plans. So stay tuned, subscribe to this channel, click the bell for notifications. We're doing this every Tuesday, so stay on the lookout for all those episodes. But for Matt Wyatt, for Jacob Collins, my name is Ryan Cam. For Truth for Justice for the American Way, happy 2024, everybody. We will see you in the next one. Y'all take care.